I think this shirt might just be a little too bright to talk about Wednesday. G'day! Welcome to the Nerdy Dad channel and my review and discussion of the Netflix series Wednesday. Look, I tossed up doing reviews for each episode, then I tossed up doing it in a block of 4, but in the end I just couldn't split it up. I binged watched the whole lot and it blows together like a movie for me. So that's the way I'm going to talk about it. Like a really awesome and atmospheric movie. Hey, to make this a little bit more of a discussion, why don't you tell me what you thought about Wednesday down in the comments? Alright, what's your favourite scene? What's your favourite thing about the episode? I'll let you know mine at the end of this video. Look, I'm going to start by saying that I was really primed to love this series. I grew up loving the Addams Family movie from the 90s, and Tim Burton is one of my favourite directors. I love the aesthetic he brings to movies, even his movies that aren't always critically loved. To me, this series does not disappoint. I love the gothic atmosphere. It's exactly what I wanted out of an Addams Family spin-off. And adding to that atmosphere is Danny Elfman's score. Look, I'm a huge fan of the 1989 Batman movie, so Danny Elfman and Tim Burton in combination is just mwah. And they do it again here for this series. In my opinion, Jenna Ortega was just perfect as Wednesday. Look, I know she's done quite a few things before Wednesday, but nothing that I'd really watched or paid attention to. Although apparently she was a child actor in one of the Iron Man movies. Look, I thought she was absolutely fantastic in this role. And I also really enjoyed the performance of most of the rest of the cast, including Gwendolyn Christie and Christina Ricci. Now, I'm going to talk about a negative for a moment. I did not enjoy Luis Guzman's portrayal of Gomez. And it wasn't just his look, although, you know, I realize his look is the look from the comics and the cartoons, but it's not one that I was used to growing up on the black and white Addams Family and the 90s movies. However, his whole personality, there was something about his portrayal that it just didn't work for me. However, that didn't take away from my enjoyment of the show overall. Now, back to the character positives. Possibly my favorite character, other than Wednesday, was Fred Armisen's Uncle Fester. He was only in the show for one episode, but he was an absolute blast. I thoroughly enjoyed his portrayal. Moving on to something else, I have to admit that at the start, I wasn't sure about the way the supernatural was going to be incorporated in the show.
There are many flavors of outcasts here, but the 4 main cliques are fangs, furs, stoners, and scales.
But it didn't take me long to get over it, and right into the story. I love the world building that the showrunners have done here. The way the history of the distinct communities of Nevermore and Jericho are intertwined with each other. I love it. And this is about as far as I can take it without talking about specifics. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, I'll catch back up with you after you've watched the show. So, there's your spoiler warning. Look, I picked Christina Ricci's Marilyn Thornhill as the main antagonist very early in the piece. And as soon as the show raised the spectre of Laurel Gates, I went, that's it. That's her. I have to admit, though, I was a little bit slower on the uptake, realizing that Tyler was the monster. How did you all go with figuring out the mystery? Look, I thought Marilyn Laurel was the monster. I thought maybe that the other party she was working with was the psychologist, Dr. Kinbot. One of the few things in the series that made me roll my eyes was the reveal of Tyler as the monster. When Wednesday and Tyler leaned in for the kiss, my first thought was, that's a little early for that. Oh no, surely they're not going there. Yeah, they went there. After framing the tortured artist who was obsessed with Wednesday, they made her would-be boyfriend the monster. I don't completely hate it, but I prefer that they didn't do that to the character. I mean, I suppose they had to. I mean, so she's still a tortured loner next season, because it looks like there will be a next season. I've read an article in Variety where the showrunners Alfred Goh and Miles Miller, so they always go into a series with outlines for 3 or 4 seasons. And after the numbers that this show did last week, I'm going to say that season 2 will get a green light from Netflix. I'm going to ask you again, what was your favourite part of the show? My favourite shot is actually the one with Morticia down in the Nightshade Library. Absolutely beautiful. As for favourite scene, I couldn't pick between two scenes. And the two of the scenes where Wednesday is playing the cello. I mean, the one where she plays Paint It Black outside a dorm in I think it's the first episode, and the one where she plays Winter as the Crackstone statue burns. Look, I really, really enjoyed Wednesday. I almost never binge a show the way I binged Wednesday, and this show was everything I was hoping it would be. I'm really looking forward to see what they do for season 2. So on that note, why don't you give this video a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. This is the Nerdy Dad, signing off.